With Halo Infinite entering its 4th year of its life cycle, many of its fans were either 1, in complete shock that the game didn't die yet, or 2, completely unaware of what the hell could be dropping in future updates of this title. With all this news that Halo Studios has diverted its resources to start working on the next Halo project, most of us Halo fans are sort of left in this sense of purgatory, of not knowing whether Halo Infinite will really continue to get actual content drops, or if it's just going to be smoke and mirrors. So with the new Operation Brute Force officially out, I thought I'd throw my expertise into the mix to give my official review of this operation, and either sing its praises or take a giant dump on it. Does Halo Infinite's new operation add some interesting content? Did they finally add in the double barrel shotgun? Is this operation actually worth it? Let's try to avoid getting scammed in the shop, look through a whole bunch of red armor, and jump right into this. So when looking at Halo Infinite's Brute Force operation, it sort of felt a little disappointing, but at the same time feels kind of cool. All the reports and rumors that were spread through all these Halo leakers had basically said that we were going to get some interesting content drops when it comes to things like maybe the double barrel shotgun, but sorry to tell you guys, that's not in this update. But I will say there are some cool game modes that we can play. For example, being able to play some interesting Forge-based content seems kind of like the mantra for Halo Infinite at this point, is being added into this game. Castle Wars, which has been a playlist in the past, has received a pretty solid update, getting a total of 8 maps, and what the hell is this? A map made by Halo Studios? Oh, wait, there's actually devs there? Surprise, surprise, guys. I thought they'd turn off the lights. But I gotta say, Castle Wars is a pretty fun game to play. Even though, for some reason, every time I jump into it, I'm getting my ass clapped by a bunch of experts. Each of these maps are actually stunning. The Forge-based maps are actually incredible because when you really think about all the hard work that was put into making these beautiful looking structures, really just incredible. And these maps range from space stations to Forerunner structures, to Japanese samurai villas, to Night City, to straight up medieval castles. And I honestly had just such a good time playing it. Even though, like I said before, I was kind of getting my ass clapped a lot of these games. Gothic gives you kind of that Viking-esque battle between two forces with these giant castles on each side. I love the aesthetic of all the snow, and oh my, I just am just impressed that we actually got snow-based maps, and you know, it just took us 3 years to get there. While other maps like Harvesters and Promade just have this plethora of lights and space feeling to it. I mean, Promade always gives me the feels, especially because of the fact it's like a cyberpunk city. What really impressed me is really these grand landscapes and how they made it feel like it was a massive arena. Gondolas is really cool, and I like the fact that it kind of gives off that Forerunner vibe, and there's a lot of these different teleporters and methods for you to attack. I mean, I was actually even sneaking under the main bridge, which I thought was a great idea, but some reason never got us to win. And even when you think of the actual dev-made map, the Jorok Bridge, it's literally amazing. The aesthetic and the ability for you to actually turn on third-person mode when playing is actually a great touch. And ironically, this is the smallest of all the maps that were added, but I honestly think that the development of this map is actually really impressive. Castle Wars is one hell of a good time. It just depends on whether you have actual teammates to know what the hell they're doing. And even if this wasn't dropped at the start, they actually did announce that they're going to be adding in Action Sack, which is basically a collection of different Forge-based modes, which a lot of people have been asking for a long time. So I'm assuming it's going to probably drop within a week or two. They didn't give me much information. I don't have an inside track to Halo Studios. And since this is a brute-based operation, it seems as though the armors here are actually pretty cool. I mean, who doesn't want to look like a gorilla? The armor has a lot of sharp edges and kind of mirrors a lot of the helmets and armor pieces that we saw from the brutes in the campaign. I am going to kind of shit on this a little bit because over maybe around 4 months ago, it said that we were going to possibly get some sort of new core that was going to mirror the brutes or be a brute as a possibility, because we weren't going to get playable elites, but brutes would be that possible unlockable. And I thought to myself, damn, that would be cool. Being able to play as a brute, that's something that's brand new that we've never done before. And I had a feeling that if 343 Industries at the time didn't get this lambasted all these cuts, we probably would have had it by this update. But I gotta say that the operational unlocks are not bad. Color schemes are pretty interesting. The brute kind of aura behind this is really cool. And I've always been a fan of adding in customization that mirrors the Covenant in a way. Because I've said this probably several different times on my operation reviews here that I'd much rather have unique armor that mirrors other cool aspects of the game than some of the dumpster fire looking armors that we've seen that 343 over the years has made. And you know, when I look at the exchange, it's the same old crap. I've already unlocked 90% of the things here because I played the game all the time, which is pretty disappointing. The exchange was such a cool concept behind it, and I thought that, hey, if you kind of got rid of the shop and you just put everything in the exchange, it would make life so much easier for people instead of having to pay bank just to earn some really cool armors. And then that kind of ties into my last point. The shop is just the dumpster fire of gaming, because when you really think about Halo Infinite, and the biggest reason why people were really frustrated with this game was mainly because the content drought was so bad. It started out so good with all this good movements and gameplay mechanics, and yes, there was a lot of problems with latency and hit registration and big team battle being unplayable and all that great stuff that happened the first year. But I think one of the biggest problems I thought people really felt about this game was the lack of game modes, and specifically even customization, because there was this whole push that the customization was going to be to the level of Reach. But in that first year, even into the second year, we lost the ability to pick our colors, and we had to do shaders like we're doing Destiny. The armor pieces only fit to a certain core, which means that we couldn't have cross-core armor piecings, which was stupid. And most of the cool armor was behind a paywall. So you kind of limited what we were able to do for most of the game's life cycle. And only until 2 years later did we finally get to have armor that could be used on every single core. And yes, I will admit that the fact that you can do that does make infinite a number of customizations. I'm not trying to use a pun here, but there is just a kind of punch in your nutsack every time you go to the shop and you see some dope ass armor that gives you the vibes of, man, if I can rock that in real life, I'd get all the ladies. But then you realize that I gotta pay $35 to get a bundle of all this cool armor. Or I can pay the cheap price of $22 to earn just 4 customizable objects. To the point where if you tell your girlfriend or your wife and say, hey, I spent $30 on this in-game customizable armor, you're probably gonna get divorced, because this is just dweeb stuff. And yes, I will admit, I have purchased some armors. I will admit that. I'm a fanboy of Halo, but it's just, come on, guys. And I think what makes matters worse is that some of the different weapon variants that they've created with these armors are so dope. I mean, imagine being able to take this variant of the sniper and actually make a new weapon out of it, because we all know that the Avenger was actually a assault rifle variant customizable weapon that they just took and made a kind of change up to the mechanics of it that make it into an SMG. You want to know how I know this? Because the reload mechanics are the same, and the only thing that's really different is the movement speed of the weapon and the look slightly, because even the basic kind of way in which the weapon is organized and how it looks as a base weapon, it looks like an assault rifle. It just has some changes to it that make it seem different. So it tells me that I have a feeling that the Halo Studios took a variant of the AR and just converted it into a new gun. So then I thought to myself, then why don't you just do that for other variants that you have in your back pocket? You should have taken that rocket launcher variant that looks like a fuel rod cannon and just make the fuel rod cannon. Or take this sniper rifle and make a brand new gun out of it. Make something different. Get people on board. Because at the end of the day, you know what I'm salty about. There's no double barrel shotgun in this update. And I've been sitting there by the Christmas tree wishing upon a star that we would get a double barrel shotgun or a actual shotgun in this game, and not the Bulldog or the Heatwave crap, because those are just Diet Coke versions of a shotgun. I want something with some kick, put some hair on my chest. I want to fight against a sword guy and own him. And it just feels like, yeah, this update has some cool things. It has Castle Wars. It has new maps that are really fun to play on. Forge is clearly the backbone of this game yet again. And Action Sack will be fun when it does release. And yeah, the customization can be cool. But it's just, come on, guys. Give me the double barrel shotgun. Give me some things to play on. So the quick answer is this update worth jumping back into? If you really like some fun game modes, yeah, it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a change up. You'll play some new things. You'll try out some new maps. I had a good time playing it, and I'll probably jump on after this video and play some more. But if you're looking for a new weapon that you're praying that they're going to drop, I'm sorry to tell you it's not here. And maybe, just maybe, it will come down the line, but it seems like the whole, we renamed ourselves Halo Studios. I guess I still got to rock with the same mantra as I did with 3 for 3. I got to see it to believe it. But what do you think Halo needs to include in their next operation to get people back to play? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you like this type of content, drop a thumbs up and subscribe to support the channel. Until next time, this is Marsman signing off. Game on.